Remember those who gave their lives for the freedom which we enjoy today. In 1939, after Poland fell, there was very little land activity concerning British troops, and that period became known as the Phony War. However, at sea, it was a totally different story. By the end of that year alone, after only 3 months, 215 merchant ships had been lost with over 1,500 lives. Lives that couldn't defend themselves. Lives that were not at war as such, but were part of our lifeline to the Commonwealth and America. Tonight, in this, the Year of the Seafarer, we've come to Bristol. In the Second World War, the port was used as the US main depot. For thousands of others who sailed overseas, Bristol and the port of Avonmouth were their last memory of Britain. And so it's fitting that we should come here tonight on this very special Sunday, along with people of the city and local seafarers, for a program of remembrance.
had got into their lungs when they were torpedoed. You knew that their lifespan was going to be very, very short.
You have to keep going. It's so important. Otherwise you cry your eyes out, and where's the children? One was 3.5. One wasn't 2. And my baby was 6 weeks old.
They were hard times. You couldn't plan an hour ahead, let alone a day ahead or a week ahead. And so you had your faith, and you kept your faith to yourself.
My true faith began really at the Catholic Seniors Mission in Brooklyn. They looked after us, and our farewell from them was, do your best, say your prayers, and things will be fine. And I tried at all times, right the way through, to do that.
I have a little prayer which I've said so many times all my life. God, give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And wisdom to know the difference.
Quite often, in regard to singing a hymn, for some unknown reason, it would drive me up, and I just stand there like a silly man, and nothing comes out. I don't know what it is, but I've had a war for over 50 years, and you say you forget, but I don't think you do. I don't think you can forget, and you shouldn't forget anyhow.
It was Sunday, my 21st birthday. We finished the service with Eternal Father, and it was grand. Trouble is, I can't sing Eternal Father now, because when I get to the second or third line, my mind goes back. That's the only thing. Whenever I hear that hymn now, it chokes me. I can't sing it.
first, I should never have asked for this story to be made public. In the end, I did so for one reason only, and that is that the story may in some way, to some persons, be a help in giving them faith in God.
It must have been a German minefield, which we didn't know about, but it certainly blew a great hole in our stern and filled up the submarine. Then we were stuck on the seabed with a bow up angle, so the bow was up here. You lift it by blowing out the air from the saddle tanks, and this didn't seem to have any effect. We couldn't move. We were absolutely helpless. Everybody who took exercise was short of oxygen, which made it rather heavy work to move around. Not very pleasant. I started off the prayer that we had done everything we could to get up, but we believed that God could still help us, so we prayed that he would do. It was after that, or immediately after that, that I had this thought, which if only we could get some of the weight forward, we could bring the stern out of the mud.
It was 1:30 a.m. Inside the submarine there was relief, rejoicing, thanksgiving and bewilderment in their varying proportions.
It was an act of God which gave me this thought. My faith since then has become very much stronger. In fact, I didn't know how weak it was before. God was gracious to us, no doubt, in my mind, about it.
1997 has been designated the Year of the Seafarer, highlighting how much we depend on all those men and women of the Royal Navy, the Merchant Navy and the fishing fleet who serve at sea in time of war and peace. And it was here in Bristol that the Missions to Seamen was founded by the Reverend John Ashley in 1835 as a Christian charity to care and look at the problems of seafarers.
After perilous weeks at sea, the friendly hospitality awaiting the seamen is something never to be forgotten.
Well, my husband and I have worked for nearly 40 years with the Missions to Seamen in various parts of the world, in Hong Kong, Japan and all over. But I think our biggest job was during the war. We had a lot of ships that used to come back any time of the day or night, and of course they probably have some wounded lads on board or somebody who'd been in the water. So what we did then, we bought a big van, really it was, and the Americans gave it to us, and we called it Mobile Molly, and we used to take big urns of tea and coffee and things like writing paper and cigarettes in those days, of course.
The Seamen's Mission is basically the same at peace or in war, but it's answering needs which are heightened. Seafarers are worried about their loved ones at home. Have they made provision for them? They're worried about themselves. Issues of life and death are very, very close to people's hearts and minds. And so we are able just to be a friendly ear. In the last 12, 20 years, there have been cases in the Six-Day War between the Arabs and the Israelis, where Arab and Israeli seafarers have met in a Seamen's Mission outside those countries, and they've sat across a table and drunk coffee or Coke and shared their concern for their families, because the Seamen's Mission is a neutral place for them to be in.
They started building the corvettes, and when the first one went out, the captain of the ship said, "Look, Padre, I'm not going where I'm going without a blessing." So we had a service on board of dedication, and after that all the ships went out with a blessing. So it was rather lovely, really.
The mission's launches are ceaselessly busy on the river.
We did have a lot to think about in those days. My husband had a very strong faith. He kept his faith all the time, but once or twice we were very hard come because boys that we'd known, they just didn't come back.